Welcome to part 6 of our series of Beloved. Alright, so the tree of life is Mashiach on either side, alright, making both the Yahudi and the Yunani, that is the Gentiles, the lost sheep, as one renewed man. Alright, as I said, number 2 in scripture, alright, number 2 in scripture again talks about witness. Isn't it? It does not mean that there are two tree of lives, but it talks about both the old and the new covenant on either side with the living water flowing, showing that all this is one pattern. Mashiach unites it all in himself on the tree where he died and he took a venom upon himself. Alright, so amazing it is. Masha says in Deuteronomy chapter 4 verses 26, he says, I shall call the heavens and the earth to witness you on that day, heaven and earth. Number 2, alright, 2 cherubs, seraphims overshadowing the mercy seat. Again, number 2 you see there. It's a twofold witness. 2 trees of life, again a twofold witness. Alright, it does not mean it is 2, but it is one pattern. Okay, in Mashiach. And bearing the 12 fruits and the leaves for the healing of the nations. The word for nations is Guim, which is Gentile, which is translated also as Gentiles. So we are from the Gentiles, alright, the lost sheep of the house of Yasharel, not the pagan Gentiles. Okay, so now let's see something very interesting. Let's see the story of Ruth and Orpha. Right, and see how it connects to what we have been talking about, because we are talking about the lost sheep of the house of Israel being united to Elohim through the beloved, right, the Ahab or the Yad, right, and that Ahab and Yad is none other than Yahushua HaMashiach himself. So in the story of Naomi and Ruth, alright, it fits perfectly to understand the lost sheep of the house of Israel coming back to Elohim. So Ruth said this, she said, your Elohim is my Elohim. Okay, so Ruth is an Abari name. It's very interesting to see. Ruth was a Moabitess. She was from the land of Moab. Alright, and Moab was supposed to be abomination. Alright, these people were abominable. They were abominable to Yahuwah. Why? Because their offspring itself was abominable. How they were generated? If you read Genesis chapter 19 verses 31 onwards, 31 to, you can say 37. Alright, what happens is after Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed, alright, Lot's daughters, alright, they say that now to preserve our seed, let us make our father drink. And they make their father drunk, and each daughter goes into their father and becomes pregnant from their own father. And they have both of the daughters have sons. The first one's son was Moab, alright, and the other one Ammon. Alright, so we are talking about Moab, from where Ruth came. But isn't it interesting that Ruth had, the name Ruth is an Abari name, it's not a pagan name, and this is how Ruth is written. Ruth, right? It's the Resh, which is the head, Uav is the enjoining, and Tau is the covenant, right? Tau is the covenant. So the picture is of the Resh enjoining the covenant, is joining to the covenant. So Ruth means friendship. It's amazing. It's an Abari word. And she was a Moabitess, one of the lost sheep of the house of Israel, coming back by saying that your Elohim is my Elohim, your people are my people. Alright? And not only that, alright, Orpha was the other daughter-in-law of Naomi. She was also a Moabitess, and her name is also a Abari name, and this is how her name is written. Alright, Ruth is H7327. Alright, it's Resh Waw Tau, and Orpha is H6204, and it is the N. Okay, the Resh, which is the head, the Pe, and the He. Right? This is, they say it as Orpha. Okay, but actually in Abari it is Arpha, because this is the A. Arpha. Okay, so that's what it means. So even this name is an Abari name, and this name means gazelle. So gazelle is like a hind which runs very fast, right? But when we look at and break up this name of Arpha, we'll see something very amazing. Alright? Let's look at each part, the root words of Arpha, and we will see how she is not in the covenant of Elohim. Her name itself shows that she is not in the covenant. If you see here, the root word in Arpha is Af. Af means wing. Wings as in wings of the bird, right? Wing. Okay. And Pa. Pa is the mouth, Pa, and this is the He. This means mouth. Okay. And the other word is Rapha, which is the Resh, the Pe, and the He. Now this means weak, W-E-A-K, weak, or it means something which is lazy, someone who is lazy, slothful, or someone who is forsaken or abandoned. Alright, so that's the meaning. So can you see what the picture that we are looking at over here in Arpha? We spoke about the wings, right? Remember Zechariah chapter 5 also I told you that they were carrying the, where were they carrying the ephah? They were carrying it to the land of Shinar in Babylon. And who was carrying it? They were carrying it, there were two women who were carrying the ephah, and there was the wing, their wings were the wings like the stork. Unclean, stork is an unclean bird. Right? And they were carrying it to the land of Shinar, and we see the woman sitting inside the ephah. The woman was wickedness. So that is what is hidden, and that's the reason the Yadiad, that is the beloved of Yahuwah, the Ahab, they only can see this discernment. They can only receive the discernment. Rest all of them are deceived and are in outer darkness. So the woman Arpha, alright, who wept over Naomi's neck and seemed to show a love to move to Yasharel with Naomi, went back to abominations of Moab. Ruth chapter 1 verses 12 onwards, I'll read out. These are Naomi's words. Go back, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have expectancy, even if I should have a husband tonight and should also bear sons, would you wait for them till they are grown? Would you shut yourselves up not to have a husband? No, my daughters, for it is much more bitter for me than for you, because the hand of Yahuwah has gone out against me. Verse 14, and they lifted up their voices and wept again. And Arpha kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. Verse 15, and she said, look, your sister-in-law has gone back to her people and to her mighty ones. Go back, follow your sister-in-law. That's what Naomi says. Verse 16, but Ruth said, do not urge me to leave you or go back from following after you. For wherever you go, I go, and wherever you stop over, I stop over. Your people is my people, and your Elohim is my Elohim. Let's continue the next part.